Nordcry is Genshin's best region. And I ain't just saying this because it has Varka, whose chest is so wowzers, but because Nordcry is the payoff of 5 years of build-up. All the lore theories, the hyped up characters, the Tory. This era brings them all together to set up Snezhnaya as this insane finale. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm glazing hard this video. But to be fair, I'm doing it because every part of Nordcry, except Rhodes, is pretty good. The whole region has this elegant vibe to it while giving us these big ass places to explore. The story is long, but it has enough hide moments and aura, and surprisingly it hits when it needs to. And the characters, they're the first thing you'll notice as everyone pulled up here. I'm talking Hexen Circle, which is half the Fatui. Dainsleaf's here, that's how you know shit's going down. And the crumb on the kake is seeing what all these dumbasses get up to with each other. There's an ancient Latin saying that goes, whenever there is a deer, a snake shall be there, and it will be queer. Lauma and Nefer show us exactly what to expect from the characters in Nordcry. They have history, they're freaky, they oppose each other, and more importantly, they complete each other. Take a look at Lauma, our dearest Archon Glazer. She's always checking up on everyone, trying her best to protect her people and her faith, and we love you for that, Lauma. Just never ask her what happened in Act 1 40 minutes in, because one of her animal friends took a dookie in the Fatui's food and her reaction was...
You naughty little thing! How could you do that?
He's fucking laughing. And then there's Nefer, who manipulated a tribe to destroy itself, who hates everyone, who keeps showing off the bob cut like, damn, okay, we see it. And you can't even talk to her because like if you try to, it's sort of like Nefer's a lone wolf who seems heartless and distant, but then she does things like almost sacrificing her eyes to help the gang, or being like, I'm not gonna do this for you. And then Lauma pulls up and she's like, And it's almost like Lauma and Nefer bring out the best and the zest sides of each other. Hashtag what that mean. To quote renowned philosopher Sandy Rohn, if the deer were to disappear, the snake ain't making it to Act 8. And if you were to throw a third person like Yehoda in between them, they start to get even more freaky.
I'd love to borrow Yehoda for a day to help.
Lama, have I ever told you just how pretty you are?
Honestly, I feel for Yehoda. She works for Nefer and gets sent to deal with problems like the Fatui, Rerir, or Lechino. Like, damn, she's just a normal girl. And with her tweaking out and feeling like she ain't built for this life, I thought she was gonna be the most relatable character. Until Varka offered to hug her and she said,
Ew, no. No, thank you.
if you're not gonna play, pass the fucking controller, Yehoda. But what's interesting is Yehoda is actually not normal. She's hiding her true power. Look at this. She clashed with Rerir, meaning she's on equal strength with him, while Bum-ass Traveler was out here posing like a good little twink. Now let's bring out Teyvat's strongest and just look at how many people Yehoda solos. And remember, she works for Nefer, the lone wolf, making Yehoda the wolf in sheep's clothing. Speaking of people who have me on all fours howling like a wolf, we got Flynn, our nonchalant lighthouse keeper we all dream about, whether you want to be him or be in him. Flynn's is honestly just such a reliable guy. I'll never forget the first time I met him. Like, he's super tall, bro, and it was kind of intimidating. I was so nervous, I was shaking, but when he stuck out his hand and smiled, I felt so warm and safe. And you get this feeling all over his character. Like how he's out on the front lines as the best DPS in the game, or when he's in his idle animation, he turns into a lamp because he is the light in the darkness. He's our saving grace. Remember that time we fought Rerir and he stood by us, taking on one of the 5 sinners? Or when he jumped into the way of Raiden's Muso no Hinotachi and blocked the blade for us? Or when he told us about a romantic tale like no other before it? Honestly, whatever Flynn's does just makes me feral, and you know what? I like that. It makes my heart throb. I can't say the same for Inefa though, cause she doesn't have a heart. And that's okay, because her relationship with Aino tugs on my heart. On the surface, it looks like Inefa is taking care of Aino, always making her snacks and keeping an eye out for her, but Aino is responsible for maintaining and repairing Inefa. And it's not really that which brings them super close. And it's not really.
Not really. Master Jean is a bitch.
Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes.
Anyway, so then I cursed her.
I left Sumeru, but I also stayed.
Maybe feel a sense of relief after they took
But more importantly, they both were alone for so long and eventually found a family within each other. And you know, in this game where everyone's family keeps leaving them or dying, it's actually sweet to have this mother-daughter dynamic. Speaking of mothers, we got the motheriest of mothers coming in straight from the University of Servington, the Hexen Circle, which is Alice and Nicole. Now that's hype, that's hype. Look at these two casually coming in and dropping world-changing lines. Like in Nicole's trailer, she deadass said the name of the Heavenly Principles guy, Penis, who's ruling over the world. And Alice mentioned she was at Teyvat's borders. Like, what's that mean? I know what you two are, which is crazy. Like, why is there a whole event where Alice, a grown-ass woman, messes with a kid like Prunes so much? She's crashing out and Alice keeps calling her an idiot. And Nicole commits an even bigger crime. Why does she have good chemistry with Varka? Stop laughing so hard, that's my man. But seeing these two finally pop up in game made me realize that damn, we're getting close to the end of Genshin and that kind of hurts. But it's nothing compared to the pain of not having an Alice banner. Like Nicole had a banner, I have no Primus to pull because they give us 60 fucking wishes, but still, she looked cool. But where's Alice's? You know she was in Not Cry, played a pretty important role, definitely more than fucking Prune. And if I couldn't get any more pissed, we got the 3 twinks of Tivat. And let me just say, I hate these guys. Well, actually, not so much Albedo, he's chill like that. And Durin was born like 10 minutes ago, so that would be spawn killing. I mainly meant this fucker, Scaramouche. Now, Scara is actually one of the more better written characters in Genshin. It's just too bad that every word out of his mouth is the most cornball shit I've heard. Now, main part of his character is actually letting go of that side. His relationship with Durin shows this a lot, and he has a lot in common with Albedo, which is probably why Hoyo put these 3 together. But that's not gonna save Scara, cause I hate his ass. Scaramouche is the biggest bum in Genshin. He erased himself from the world, so no one would remember his bumtivities. But we never forget, so let's recall them. In Sumru, he fought Nahida and beat her 168 times, right? He was fighting a 500-year caged, nerfed, emotionally neglected, depressed Nahida. Oh, but it's because of him we escaped Dotori and Sandrone was able to power up her machine thingy. This guy was doing too much, I swear, man. Like, it's not even about you. Durin and Albedo were actually making moves and solving mysteries, while Scara was like, they call him 007. 0 Archons defeated, 0 successful attempts of revenge, and 7 centuries of unhealed trauma. Moving on to other Fatui members, we got Columbina and Sandro. Now, both of them come with their own kind of vibes. Everything surrounding Columbina has this whole elegant feeling to it, from her character to her fit to the way she talks, while Sandrone seems like she's gonna crash out at any second and cut out some dude's tongue. So when you stick these two together, what I was not expecting was the great switch up. Sandrone fucking crumbles in front of Columbina. Like, girl, lock in. How are you getting baited this hard? And Columbina, I'm watching your stream. Why are you trying not to laugh, bro? But what these two represent is amicable and sagacious to the whole of Nordcry. And that's Yuri, Orlechino and Columbina, Nefer and Lauma, Columbina and Lauma, Nicole and Lauma. Lauma's a freak, but you see what's going on here? This ain't no land of the moon goddess, it's the goon goddess with the Yuri scripture. And at the center of the church stands Sandbina. I swear half the Archon quest was these two yearning for each other. And Hoyo ain't trying to hide it. Look at this line.
Columbina is still the most shoutable name.
Is that not an insane thing to say? Their birthdays are a day apart. Their drip marketing makes a heart. There's genuinely a million examples I could give, but to get the real understanding, we gotta take a look at this scene in Sandrone's quest. The elegant background, Columbina's shaky voice, Sandrone pulling in for a hug and refusing to let go. Shakespeare ain't die, he was reincarnated. For all the Sandbina scenes, it's pure art. It's both their sides, the brashness and elegance coming together. And this sums them up perfectly. Whether they were in the Fatui, Nordcry, Fontaine, the moon, the one thing they had in common was that they were together. And just thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey.
There is a natural warmth to the way he treats people, which I highly admire.
Won you over already. Can't help but nuzzle up against his hand.
Oh my god. I'm blooming.
Oh my god, I'm blooming.
Shouldn't a Grandmaster be all serious and dependable looking?
I'm going to assassinate Varka.
Sandrone.
Welcome back, Grandmaster.
I don't know if you noticed, but I like Varka a lot. However, he isn't just someone I salivate over. There's something he did that'll connect all of us to him forever. In this animated short about his past, we see him defeating monsters, saving Mondstadt, and going on all types of adventures. But then he stopped and went to Nordcry because the people there needed him more. So what this means is that Varka could have gone on the same journey we did. He could have had all the fun, all the experiences and memories that we had. He could have been the impact on Genshin, but he gave that up for us. It's not like I needed you to do that, Baka, but I love him for it. He's the most kind-hearted, caring, generous, every case I can think of possible. Genuinely, anytime he showed up, I started licking my HDMI cable just so I could catch a hint of what he tastes like. Everyone talks about his DPS and if he tops people like Nefer and Zabai, but I just want him to top me. He's perfect. I just feel like I feel.
Like roller coaster going up and down because I know I'm lost. My yearning heart was stolen by you.
Alright, let's talk about story now. Nordcry has a 30-hour arc on quest. That's 10 Mondstads, 4 Inazumas, 2 Sumrus, and 1.5 Natlan. This shit's massive, and to be fair, there is a lot to cover. Nordcry is split into 11 factions. Do the factions matter? Not really, but the people inside them do, as they have their own goals. The Frost Moon Scions worship Columbina. The Abyss wants to slime out Columbina. Sandro needs Columbina, and Columbina don't even know that everything revolves around her. She is the Archon of the region, so it makes sense, and she definitely gets the treatment. Her whole journey takes place from Act 1 till 8, and she goes from a low cortisol chud to causing a rank shift within the fray mogging because of her Kutar maxing. Columbina's slick like that, although I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wish we got to see the whole I'm so fucking scared horror side of her they were teasing, but Hoyo would never make anything that cool. And yeah, obviously she was rewritten, because like look at the fucking differences, but it doesn't mean she's bad, as I do like the whole angelic vibe they went with, and mainly what she's got going on during the story. Columbina left the Fatui, and now that she's broke and homeless, doesn't know her purpose, and act by act we get to see her slowly change. She goes from not interacting with anyone, staying in the flower room, and not even knowing her actual name, to teaming up with everyone and Nordcry, talking to them, partying with them, flirting with Sandrone, and slowly realizes that, you know what, these people might not be so bad. She also has all these factions telling her who she's supposed to be, but when she gets banished to the back rooms, she finally figures out what she wants, and that's to help the gang no matter what. So even though everyone's telling her how her story's supposed to go, she's like, nah, I'ma do my own thing. And she grows wings, opens her eyes, and incinerates Dottore with a giant fucking laser. The arc itself is pretty simple. Columbina ain't the most interesting person, and these baits to get us to like her more ain't working, Hoyo. It's everything around her that makes her more fun. All the characters, her vibe, hype moments, and aura make it exciting to go through. Especially if we're going by Genshin standards. Like, damn, okay, Hoyo, you can actually lock in when you want to. But it's not only Columbina. Every character has their own shit that they're dealing with. Lauma questioning her faith and beliefs, Nefer confronting the past and all the people she murdered, Flynn standing there looking all handsome. All the characters have something going on, and you know what? I think this is pretty cool. I don't got anything weird to say this time. Now let's talk about the two demons whose semen's got me screaming. Rarier and Dottore are the main villains for Nordcry, and these guys are so much fun. Anytime they show up, the story jumps in quality. The first half of Nordcry focuses on the illustrious torsoed Rarier, and you feels the aura through the screen when this man shows up. He does this funny thing where he hates everyone. I slap my desk and is always ready to beat the shit out of them. Like how he chased me and Columbina in the sky, and then me and Dainsleif had to send him through a portal. But what's even funnier is how much he hates Nefer. I'm fucking crying. This guy has it out for her. Deadass, he turns into Nefer's pet cat, arches his back, and lets her pet him just to trick her and catch her off guard. It's the funniest shit I've seen. And he mainly hates her because she was peeking into his past. Now, Rarier's backstory is what makes him, like, you know, up there. This guy was out here murdering an entire race, even the children. He's Dudu incarnate, but then they show his relationship with Tholindis, who's his potential fiance. I don't know, she ain't give him an answer. But these two are pretty sweet together, and when I saw this, I was like, yeah, okay. Tholindis dies and Rarier goes crazy, which happens, but they add a little something. Tholindis is from the race that Rarier is massacring, and when her people came up to her for help, she was like, why would Rarier keep secrets from me? Like, girl, do you not see the children that are begging for help? She don't care about them. Like, what the fuck? You two psychopaths are perfect for each other. But then Rarier starts geeking due to a prophecy that said him and Tholindis ain't gonna make it, and Tholindis starts getting paranoid that Rarier is gonna slime her out. So eventually they both spiral out of control, and the prophecy comes true, which is sad, but these two weren't exactly the kindest souls in Teyvat. But that's genuinely what I loved about their story. It shows both of them being pretty messed up, but you kinda get him. Not the murdering part, but the relationship they could have had and why it fell apart. And once again, that's huge for Genshin's story. I was not expecting to sympathize with the big-breasted butcher. But speaking of sympathy, let's talk about the man that has none, Dottore. I love this guy so much. He's so entertaining. Everyone hates his ass, and that's because he's responsible for half the atrocities in the game. If something bad ever happens, always bet on Dottore. But where someone like Rarier would offer us grunts and moans, Dottore gives us deep talks with Big D. And I'm not gonna lie, he was kinda spitting. I'm not saying I agree with him, it's just with that voice and all the fancy words, he's too charming. charming. Like, okay, fine, maybe I'll go on your side. It's also hilarious how many times this guy keeps coming back. Columbina dropped the moon on his ass and he's like, that was part of my plan, I'm in the tree now. But being such a wanker is what ends up causing Dottore to finally meet his end. The 6.6 Sumru Archon quest has Dottore take over the entire world because he is Irminsul now. And of course, the first thing he'll do after he fully gains control of the world is traumatize Kole. This fucking guy. What surprised me was the whole yaoi thing he got going on with Refrigerator. We get another one of his deep talks, and I think this is the closest Dottore got to a real friend. They actually talk about their history and goals and life after Dottore moves on. Like, low-key, it was an interesting conversation. And they literally spend Dottore's last moments together, like W Pride Month, even though I'm a few days late. But what's great is that there is no redemption for Satan over here, because how do you even redeem this? He dies being the biggest dickhead on Tevat, causing so much trouble for everyone while opposing every rule in the world. I can't think of a more perfect conclusion for the best villain in the game, and his ass is probably coming back again. Now let's talk about what actually happens in the story. I spent too long with Dottore's meat in my mouth. The thing is, even though the shit's like 30 hours long, each act has a moment or something going on to make sure it doesn't drag. Like in the first act, we explore a domain with our sibling, and I was 100% convinced that this was a clone sand drone made to get us to find Columbina so she could steal her moon power. Which obviously now sounds stupid as hell, but like, I wanted to feel like a lore theorist. Anyways, after that, you're sneaking into the giant Fatui dome with Yehoda and Lauma, and who brought her big ass deer into a stealth mission. Stop running off the edge. Act 2 is where we hold hands with Flins, and Revier comes back to life and starts fighting with Sand Drone and Polonia. And that's why she's the GOAT. No one's moving like her, and no one loses as much as her. While they're beefing, the city gets attacked, and the game has you switch to all the characters and see how they're helping the town. And it's crazy that all of this is happening in Act 2. This felt like some end of Archon quest shit. Act 3 has Varka show up, and any moment with Varka is a big moment, remember that always. Also, Revier decides to jump Columbina, and they have a Mog off where Columbina surface. Oh, close one, but Revier already had the lead because he tied everyone up. So Columbina teleports the gang away because Revier's aura is too much. Act 4 is where we get backstories, and I already talked about Revier's. Easily one of the best parts of any Genshin story. But Nefer also gets a backstory, which is pretty interesting, seeing the master manipulator she had to turn into to survive. Revier arches as a cat, and we get his boss fight, which is messed up that this isn't a weekly boss. Do you hear that music? Anyways, he gets jumped by everyone and is defeated by a beautiful aura lob from Columbina to Dainsleaf. Act 5 and 6 are a nice breather, introducing new characters and Scaramouche, while Columbina needs to go back to the moon, so everyone throws her a festival. Each character has their own mini game, which is fun. The Hex and Circle Witches predict the future, saying everyone's gonna die. Sandrone and Columbina, this is the day. They ain't even hiding it. But since people were happy, Dottore decides now is the time to destroy the world, and has the toughest introduction I've heard. I'm nutting. I don't care. Hashtag I take dick in the ass. So by Columbina, she leaves to go to the back room. And I swear, these travelers always doing this hand-reaching thing, man. It never works. Here's where Act 7 picks up, with Dottore kidnapping us and trying seduction. It's working. While Columbina tries time travel. It's also working. The act switches back and forth between these two, and it ends with the bum saving us and Columbina becoming the moon goddess. The final Act 8 has everyone preparing to fight Dottore, and you gotta be a special kind of psychopath to have Arlecchino, Varka, Nicole, Sandrone, and every god prey on your downfall. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT. Anyways, we 1v1 Dottore, and his boss fight is so sick. Look at this arena, standing on a giant hand watching the sunset. It's romantic. But then Sandrone comes in to help us and stands on business. I'm telling you, no matter who it is, she's always ready to square up, and she's always gonna lose. Are you kidding me? They're both my goats. But what happens when one goat kills the other goat? Which goat? Who's the goat now? But Sandrone imparts one final message to us, and that's to never stop hating, no matter what. So Columbina comes back and drops the mood on Dottore's ass. So a lot of shit happens in Not Cry. I mean, there is of course sections where it drags. This is Genshin after all. But for the most part, I was enjoying everything going on. But let me be dead ass with you for a second. Genshin's story ain't no solo leveling Shakespearean masterpiece. It's mainly fun to go through. But in every region, there's a moment where I'm like, yeah, okay, this is why I'm still playing this shit. Furina's Trials, Sumru Time Loop, Fighting Raiden. And while Not Cry has a lot of moments, the one that stuck with me is the final sequence. You go through this 2D section with a now fully locked in Columbina as she shows you her life and Sandrone's, cause you know. And it's all so beautiful. beautiful. It has this amazing song playing in the back with all these elegant paintings, and it keeps getting more and more gorgeous until you reach the moon. And you're sitting here seeing all of Tevat and just have a moment to take it in. This is the kind of stuff where Genshin shines. Just basking in the world, the environments, the music, the whole journey. It's a great conclusion to Not Cry. It's the reason why this region feels special, and honestly, this feels like an ending to the game. If they do something like this, but on a bigger scale, for the actual ending of Genshin, you know that shit's gonna hit hard. Everyone that plays Genshin knows that the design of the areas and the music will never miss. In fact, put that on my life, put that on our lives. Strike us down if I'm wrong. The reason is each region we go to comes with its own vibe. Mondstadt is where everything started. It's bright, it's cozy, it's warm. Everyone is secretly a prince or a god. It's a fun, wholesome start to the journey. And then boom, Liyue right around the corner that hits us with the Chinese culture everywhere. Lantern rights, dudes I want to pipe. It's great, especially that soundtrack. Yu Peng Cheng on a piano, just nut in my ear at that point. Inazuma, the worst place to ever live in. There's like one city here and the other islands have a purple tornado in the sky, or hell, it's the first look at how crazy some of the views are gonna get in this game. But the music here also shows us that Genshin's a pretty messed up world sometimes. Sumeru is when I started playing, and exploring these big ass jungles with the Aranaras and the desert stacked on top of each other is something I won't forget because I got lost in there every single fucking time. The songs though, there are so many booty shaking, throwing it back bangers. I busted down to this, I ain't afraid to admit it. Fontaine allows us to finally swim, and those underwater sections with the sunlight shining through while me and the gang pretend to be fishes are so peaceful until my boy gets kidnapped because Fontainians are racist. The vibes are immaculate and all those orchestral songs just add to that. Natland is one giant ass land with each tribe having its own area, 20 different animals walking around, temples inside of space thingies, inside of volcanoes on top of the world. The views are genuinely so luscious, and the music, they peaked. Like don't even joke, lad. Actual masterpieces in here. So what's Not Cry got for us then? The good thing is that it takes some of the best aspects of every area. Like immediately you come on, I want someone to come on me. You come onto the land and see the outline of these giant islands from afar. Hissy Island and the Fatui Dome. These are the standout areas because how do the colors on Hissy Island look like this? Oh my god, I'm blooming because that's the only way to describe this. And then the Fatui Dome is just this imposing evil ass building that has a moon crater in the middle of it. Like the special final touch on Not Cry, and why I love this region, is that soundtrack. This is Genshin's best soundtrack, and that's huge praise. The main Not Cry theme, whirling out and over, Dizwani Pori, To Light the Eon Dark, and I could name like 20 more, and listening to it is not enough, man. Just fuck me already. But you want to know what's the best area with the best music in the game? Columbina's Flower Room. These blue flowers that cover the entire place with one crystal crescent moon in the middle is stunning. And the song playing in the back, Lullaby of the New Moon one, this is just like, it's so magical. I don't even know how many times I replayed this song, but I ain't ever getting tired of it. Then comes the second map expansion, and I'm not gonna lie, this didn't hit as hard. I think it's because it was more islands, and while islands are cool at first, I prefer having one giant land connecting everything. That was some of the most fun parts of Mondstadt and Liyue and Sumeru being so close together. However, 6.5 added the Domain Port expansion, and it's technically a Mondstadt map, but I don't want to talk about it, shut up. Because we got another Field of Flowers, which is always a win, and they got these sharp ass mountains that look so sick when it's surrounding the port. The place is aesthetic as hell. It's something your friend sends a video of and then changes the GC's name to Trip to Domain Port, even though he knows all of our bum asses are broke. Anyways, the cherry on the tip of this place is what waits at the tip of the mountain, the Temple of Space. This place is so trippy. I'm sure this has insane lore, as this place belongs to Paimon, Asmodeus. It starts as a replica of every region, then everything turns red and you go to hell. Amazing area, I'm never coming back here. So yeah, as far as exploration goes, they dropped a lot of beautiful areas and a few cool ones, and if they didn't add any more places, I would be satisfied. And then they dropped the fucking moon. This place is great. One big ass map with constantly changing environments and top tier music. Columbina built a laser and a spaceship on the moon because who's gonna stop her? We have Fontaine swimming with the gang, but in the sky this time. Seeing how different games handle space is always fun. And now that Genshin is heading towards the end game, or Genshin 2, they've been building up towards more space high-tech stuff in the game. And I don't know how they're gonna handle it, but if this is a taste, then ole mole am I excited. Now, I want to talk about the Genshin community for a bit, and I know those words already sound terrifying, but hear me out, as there's something about this game that it's been out for almost 6 years now, and people are still hooked onto it. It has some dedicated ass fans going crazy over leaks, the ones watching the dev stream, that one daily Diluc model account. Also, anytime you saw two characters on screen together in this video, it was actually me and a random player helping me get the shot. Everyone was down to help me make the vid. The community and how much they care about the game is what's keeping it alive. And I remember seeing Hoyo saying they want to keep Genshin going for 20 years. And that's great, man. It's just, how are you gonna do that when you keep pissing off every single player? Since we're going over the entire Nordcry era, let's talk about whatever dumbassness Hoyo's been doing throughout it. First up is Miliastra Wonderland, which dropped like half a year ago. And I thought this is cool. Roblox in Genshin. There's so many different games you could play, like getting married to Dottore. But everyone hates this mode, and I've seen two main reasons. First is that some people don't want to play a mode that doesn't give primos. Which, look, I get, because Hoyo basically molded our brains into only caring about primos, but you do miss out on some fun shit. But the other main reason is that this mode is so fucking greedy. Anytime you open a menu or see something interesting in Miliastra, it's like, buy me for money, you want me, get money, like get the fuck off my screen. Now Hoyo's been greedy. This ain't new info. You play Genshin for 20 minutes, you'll realize it. But these guys have been pushing the limit, which brings us to the next dumbassness. Why they being so greedy with rewards, man? In 6.6, they gave us 60 pulls. Normally it's like 90. Why you being so stingy? You literally drop a new character every month, and 6.6 had 2 new characters. And constantly getting new characters would be fine if they weren't hoarding all the primos from us. And there's so many other complaints people have, some of which are fair, others are kind of stupid. But the reason I'm talking about this is because the community are the ones that are gonna keep Genshin alive for those 20 years Hoyo wants it to last. Who the fuck is gonna play if everyone's fed up by then? Honestly, I made my peace with this years ago. Me and Hoyo kind of have an understanding. I know they ain't changing their greedy ass ways, so I'm not spending any money on the game. As long as they keep giving us beautiful areas and music and fun story and characters, I'll still play it, but they ain't getting the money. And it sucks that I gotta go on this rant because I just spent like 15 minutes glazing Nordcry because I genuinely enjoyed it. It's just, oh my god, it's Hoyo trying their best to ruin all that good shit. Anyways, I don't want to end the video on a rant. It's just whenever you talk about Genshin, you start losing it. I mainly wanted to talk about Nordcry because honestly, I really enjoyed it. And I kind of wanted to recap it since Sneznaya's coming out in like a month. But let me close this video off by hitting you with an edit with one of the best songs from Nordcry, which should convey exactly how I feel, which is also kind of corny, but like I just wanted to make an edit. Oh yeah, I never talked about Lohan. I actually had an entire section for him. But then in his trailer, he tried to drug Varka. And if you have gotten to know me just a bit through this video, you understand exactly why I annihilated his part. Worst character in Genshin, no one touches Varka. I'm always gonna be loyal to... Oh,